Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our live show. This is our paranormal show, our psychic medium reading and tarot card reading show. Mad Max, hi. Said good evening, fam. Yes, and for all of those Mad Max and Mudlover are now part of the fam officially. They're doing some podcast videos with us. So yeah, we love having them aboard officially, not just in the audience. So we're having fun with those videos. And you can find them on this channel. So we have one up on hey Mudlover, on a really fascinating story of the largest maritime disaster in the United States history, and it's fascinating. And had never heard of it, so you guys need to go look that up. It's on our tab under. Let's see, you have playlists on YouTube, and we have a historical playlist, and it's up there, so you guys can go listen in. It's pretty fascinating. But McKenna, what do you have on board for us tonight?
So we are continuing on with our Swipe Right if 9 feet or taller series. So we talked about XL size cryptids. We covered some really cool Sasquatch type ones last week. We're kind of doing a flip flop here. So now we're going to go back to giants. Specifically, we're going to talk about legends and stories of giants in Afghanistan. So we will be discussing a topic we covered a tiny bit. I know, I see the excitement already. You know
Yes.
exactly where I'm going with this. So we're going to cover the giant of, I've heard people pronounce it Kandar or Kandahar. Um,
Kandahar.
Kandahar, thank you.
Yes.
So we're going to cover that today. And then we're also going to cover another story that this man, his dad, grew up in Afghanistan, and he grew up in a small village where they had a giant essentially. And so we're going to kind of go into that. It's really, really cool. But we're going to start with the giant of Kandahar. So Stephen, I hope I'm not butchering this either. I think it's Steve Quayle. He's kind of like the end all know all of like giant lore essentially. He has a radio show called Coast to Coast, and he has actually like covered this story in great detail. And like there's a couple sources that are anonymous, we don't actually know who they are, of like firsthand accountings of this incident. So it happened in 2002. So basically an army squad in Afghanistan had gone missing. Just gone. They were out scouting, doing their regular job. They didn't come back. No one heard from them, and so uh, a squadron of most likely rangers were sent out to find out what happened, to find them. Um, and so they kind of were sent out initially to like scout out like this mountainous area where there's caves. Uh, and when they came up upon this cave, they saw bones, animal bones, and they also saw like remnants of like military equipment and military clothing just kind of like everywhere. The closer and closer they got to this cave, they were finding discarded items of the people that they were looking for. So at this point, they know that something terrible happened and they're on high alert. And they came like upon this large cave. Um, there was the most gear around this cave. Everything was broken and scattered everywhere. So this task force, they were going to go into the cave to see if they could find their men, these other soldiers. Uh, when out of the recesses of this cave, a 12 to 15-foot red-haired giant came like out full force, charging these people. And he had what was described as like a spear. So he had a weapon and caught these raiders by complete surprise. Uh, and the giant like fell on this one person, and killed this man. I think his name was Dave. They said his name was Dave. Oh, Dan. So Dan was stabbed like by this spear. And of course, this ranger squad, they are, they're highly trained, and so they're acting on instinct. So they shoot at this creature, with very heavy equipment, mind you, and it takes 30 seconds of heavy fire from all angles to take down this enormous creature. They do end up killing it, um, but the weapons they were armed with were full automatic M4 carbines, or recon carbines, which are a semi-automatic rifle. They had M107 Barrett anti-material rifles that fire, uh, like .50, .50 BMGs, so like big rounds, very large
Big
rounds.
rounds. Yeah.
Yeah. And then generally, like, that much concentrated firepower on a target would drop it instantly, but it took 30 seconds. Yes. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Jason, this is a really good point. So, this is one of the two, like, anonymous people. One of them was the pilot. And I mean, so he apparently had, like, been stationed in this area. This had happened around like 2002, and he was stationed in this area up to about 2005. Hi, Sherry. Uh, and he had essentially, like, gone in to this area to go and retrieve this item without knowing anything. But he has a very, like, so him and the other person that was there, that was in the squad that was attacked, they have almost identical descriptions of this creature, or they do have identical descriptions. So according to the two witnesses, the giant wore like canvas or like animal hide, very tattered like wrappings like on its feet, like, so like makeshift shoes, and that it had an extra finger on each hand. So it was 6 digits instead of our five. It had an extra finger on each hand, and it had double rows of teeth. So, like how we have
Yikes.
one top row, one bottom row, they had two and two. So everything was bigger, everything was more, and 12 to 15 feet, like, that is enormous. That's three
Mm-hmm.
people, 3 people plus, depending on the person. If it was me, yeah, yeah, about three of me.
Sounds like some
um,
Attack on Titans kind of crap.
Yeah, right? And that, honestly, like, you think about cartoons being like so nice, and then you watch something like that and you're scarred in like the first 10 minutes. If you
It's
haven't
funny.
seen it, viewer
I did
discretion.
ask two of my friends who served in Afghanistan about this, and they both
Mhm,
said that they heard it. They heard about this incident when they were there,
mhm.
and it was very well documented and very well known amongst the troops what happened.
Yeah, and see, the military, the government had very much tried to hush hush it up, but because so many people had heard of it, there were so many witnesses that had survived. It was very well known to the people that were serving in Afghanistan, and, like, there weren't any like firsthand accountings until these two anonymous people had come forward and been like, "Hey, this is what happened. Like, it is real. Absolutely. We're sharing this information because the people should know about it. They shouldn't be lied to. They wanted to share the information and not get any recognition. That's why they're both anonymous." Um, but essentially, like, upon the return, like, the soldiers, the Rangers, they were made to sign like non-disclosure agreements.
Mhm.
The giant's carcass was transported to a different military base and, like, completely lost track of. Um, it was transported to the United States. So that's all I know for sure. I know that one of the person that was in like the group that, encountered, yes, that is true. Um, like, if you think about like NORAD in like Colorado Springs, like,
Mhm.
there are so many theories and so much secretive, like, lore surrounding NORAD in that area, and the Rocky Mountains are just so, like, huge. Like, you have to wonder what they have there, how many things they're able to hide there. Um, but yeah, it's I feel like with Area 51 and like the consistent like secrecy like within these areas of government, it's kind of hard to not believe it even just a little bit. Um,
Mad Max said it's probably in the Vatican.
Right?
Yeah, along with every other weird secret. Yeah.
It's probably where Walt Disney is too.
Yeah, right? Still frozen. Mhm.
Um, but yeah, this other guy, he was known as like Mr. K. Uh, but he's the one that initially came out and said people have the right to know what's happening on our planet. Um, which totally, I absolutely agree. I don't feel like, I mean, especially in our day and age with like the internet, there's so much out there about sightings, there's so much communication. Um, I feel like we can handle it, whatever's happening, whatever's actually out there, we absolutely, yeah, and we absolutely can handle it. We're gonna talk about it and we're gonna discuss these. I know, I know. How about that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. And
Um,
that's definitely more in like I would say like the high ups, Uh but there are so many like amazing people in our military, amazing people serving our country, and those are the regular people, our brothers and sisters that we grow up with, and our fathers, and our family members and our beloved friends. There are amazing people in our military, and that's, I feel like, why we know these things that are happening, because inherently these people that are regular people are honest, and they don't want to do the wrong thing. uh but small tangent there. So also kind of going off of like a military aspect there, I did see a couple different accountings. I read a couple different accountings of soldiers in that same kind of like time frame that right, yeah, military are awesome, heck yeah, pro military. um but accountings of soldiers that um would come into these villages, like people say that essentially it's like being on another planet, like being stationed in Afghanistan, but there are these communities and these villages, and there were some soldiers that recounted like these villagers essentially having traditions where they would like paint their hair orange. Like they had heard the stories of like the giants and stuff, but these people would like every now and again, like once a month, once every couple months, they would dye their hair orange, and they would take their goats and dye their hair orange and essentially have like a festival, a ritual. And then like it was completely random, and like they're not discussing what's happening like with the people that are stationed there, with the soldiers stationed there. um but just in one day, like the soldiers would notice that everything was back to normal, but the goats were gone. So that kind of dips in, yeah. So they're essentially feeding these creatures out so that I'm
yeah.
sure to keep themselves safe. um but that goes into our next story. So this is a man, so his father grew up in Afghanistan, and then came to the United States as a young man. His son was born in the United States, but the father was raised in Afghanistan. So he had told his son about seeing like giant footprints during his childhood that were 10 feet apart, long strides, and they were human footprints. And he asked his mother, who was a very important person in like their community, in their village, he's like, hey, what are these? And she said, you know how I tell you to never go near the caves, never play near the caves. That is why. And, he's a kid and he's like, okay, well, geez, then whatever that is, I don't want any part of it. Um, but the mother would be the person that would like take goats or other animal offerings to those caves. So his father, this guy's father, like would have to like go and help. Essentially, he would help his mother take these animal offerings to the caves. Um, they would take them to like near the opening, near the tree line, near like a big rock, wherever is kind of like the general area, and they would tie like the goat there. And as they were leaving, they would hear the cries of this animal being like killed and eaten,
Mm.
essentially. But the mother was the person in this community that would take the offerings because she did practice witchcraft. She had protective runes in Arabic tattooed on her forehead that would protect her from being taken by this monster, essentially. Um, but what I thought was really, really yes. So Mad Max answered or asked a question. Was the Ranger Squad rescued or recovered? So yes. So they sent. It was said that they sent two different evacs, two choppers. One was for the people, and then the other one was for the giant.
Oh.
And actually, the man that was the pilot for the giant's carcass uh, talked about like the weight of it. So like the rigging and everything like total was about 1,500 pounds, and once they kind of like deduct the weight of like the rigging and the rope and everything they used to like hoist it into the helicopter, they estimated this giant was about 1,100 pounds. But the Rangers were taken back and made to sign the non-disclosure agreements. They were yeah, they were told, you know, keep your mouth shut, we don't talk about this. But since one of their comrades had died, that's the reason that Mr. K had recounted that, had gone public anonymously with the story. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
super,
So
super interesting.
Afghanistan is a really interesting place too, because they have uncovered or found caves with thousands of human skeletons in them that they believe are from the cave hyena,
Oh, I haven't heard about the cave
which
hyena.
which
What?
is a massive animal that takes a lot of people back and consumes them in the caves.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm
So
writing that down.
now we have the red-headed giant and the cave hyena going
Yeah,
at it. Yeah, this is nuts.
it
Mhm.
is. It is. And I mean, you think about it's not just like underprivileged areas or, you know, people that are more disconnected from society that, you know, have these types of legends and lore. Um, you know, because of our topic last week, like this normal family had multiple encounters with like this family of cryptids, you know, and well documented. This whole town knew about it. Like it wasn't some remote area. Yeah, it was kind of far outside of town, but like a mile. It's not too
Yeah, that
crazy.
no.
Yeah. Um, and so I think people kind of like think that because I mean, you know, you're the people that are want to be a little bit more critical, which, you know, is totally fine, totally get it. Um, they will justify what people believe and what people see because they are also farther removed from society, from modern society, than someone living in a city or someone living in a big town, you know. And these things that are rare, not as likely to come out into the open, they don't want to be seen, they're not gonna be in downtown Salt Lake City, you know. They're not gonna come to Boise and like be hanging out on a park bench. Like it's gonna be in these rural areas. It's gonna be in these underpopulated areas where people have these encounters because these creatures, whether or not they exist, don't want to be seen. They don't want to be a part of our society. So I feel like there's a lot of skepticism, but it does come from those larger areas, larger populated areas where
Mhm.
people don't generally know what it's like to be in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
um, but kind of getting back into our other little story here, uh, this grandmother, so the mother to the father. So it was the guy who told the story's grandmother. So the father had asked his mother, and this was like a few years like after like seeing those footprints. He had asked his mother like, hey, why do you do this, like how do you know this, because uh he had said that the grandmother practiced black magic or rune magic, um but it was like protective specifically for this purpose of offering animal sacrifice to these giants.
Mm.
um and he's like, how did you learn this, asked her one day, and she said that it was her grandmother who taught it to her, and her grandmother that taught it to her, and her grandmother that taught it to her. So these creatures, these giants, essentially had been either living in this cave, whether it's one or a community, uh, for hundreds potentially of years, multiple generations of at least this family. And it was always the women. It was always the women. There was never a man that like would take on the runes, would take on this responsibility. The power was always transferred to a woman.
Mm.
So yeah, very, very interesting. But it was, let's see.
Yeah,
But yeah, that was, go ahead.
that's interesting that you have so the lineage of the witch, that makes sense to me. The female lineage of the witch is taking on this responsibility. But I wonder how I mean, I guess through the ages, even the Middle Ages and everything else, you'd sacrifice the animal to keep the village safe, right? You
Right.
would do animal sacrifices for the greater good. And
Yeah.
it freaks us out now, but they're still doing it over there, apparently.
Yeah, yeah.
So if they killed this one, there's got to be more, though.
Right, there has to be more. And like there's so much lore out there and so many theories. You say conspiracy theories, um, but of like cave systems. And that's
Mhm.
not just, I mean, you hear about it here, you hear about it in the
Yep.
Appalachias,
Yep.
huge cave systems or completely other worlds essentially living underneath us.
Mhm.
And so I mean, that cave, those caves where these giants had come out, they could be just solo, wandered away, ended up here, and there could be thousands of them, hundreds of thousands. There could be an entire
Right.
world of them. Some people say the dinosaurs are still like under our feet, essentially. But it's wild to me. There was the one pilot, and I believe it was like the mid 1900s. For sure, for sure, Max. And that's, I feel like it's so interesting to like study these different topics, to kind of go over them and discuss them, because it's so interesting and insightful to hear like other people's opinions and other people's research, because a lot of the times we have heard the same thing or similar things. Yeah, yep, for sure. But I can't remember the name of the pilot, but essentially he had gone to like the Arctic, um, and he had found a hole and flown into this hole or this opening, or some people say that there's like portals, interdimensional portals. uh Reference skinwalkers again. That's what they say the skinwalker legend is privy to, is interdimensional portals. But he essentially went into this hole, um and there was an entire world there. Everything was huge, everything was giant, and there were creatures and they were not friendly. And he got the heck out of there, survived, went home, told everybody about it. No one believed him, but yeah. Or
Mm.
maybe people did, but it was hush hushed. One of the people from the Kandahar
Mhm.
giant like lore story, one of the witnesses had said that they specifically covered up this giant theory, or this thing that had happened, this incident, because they didn't want people to tie it to the Bible and tie it to the Nephilim.
Oh,
So they want to
that's
promote
interesting.
Darwinism and evolution.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Oh, thank you, Jason. Richard E.
that's
Byrd.
interesting. Well, you mean of this red-headed giant in Kandahar? That's They covered it up
Um,
because of that? Is that what you're saying?
yeah, well, they cover up in general, like giants, like otherworldly creatures, because they want us to believe that we're getting, you know, bigger and stronger because of evolution, but in reality, we are becoming smaller and we are
And weaker,
weaker and dumber, and we're being poisoned by our food, and
right?
all of the content that we consume,
Right.
everything that goes in our mouth, goes in our eyes and our ears, is essentially poisoning us. And that's a whole other conversation about the government.
Definitely.
Yeah, officially, I love the government. I totally
Yeah.
believe everything that they say.
So, okay, so apparently, allegedly, the government, the US government has this giant that
Right.
was shot and killed by the Rangers somewhere in the United States.
Yes.
Somewhere, and it's
Yeah.
probably frozen. They probably did all kinds of an autopsy and tissue samples and hair samples and everything else, so they know everything that you could possibly know about this creature, but they're not gonna disclose it unless I mean, they're making more and more stuff unclassified, but this one would be a long time away before they would
Right.
declassify this stuff.
Well,
So
they should take the hint, that like they essentially declassified the aliens were real, right? Allegedly.
right, right.
Everything's always alleged. But and this is just what like the witnesses in this particular situation, had
Mhm.
formed opinions. Like this is why they feel like that they were silenced. But I don't even know where I was going with that. ADHD brain. um but yeah, it's very, very interesting. Like, oh, I remember. So like how they had told everyone, they came out and they were like, hey, just so you guys know, aliens are real and we totally know about it. And nobody cared because we were like, yeah, we know you're
We've
lying
been
to us. Like,
yeah, we've known this for how many decades now? It's not
yeah,
news. So,
exactly,
yeah,
exactly. We already know already. Like,
right.
there's Men in Black. They're real. It's not just Will Smith.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
So,
very interesting topic.
fascinating story. Thanks for bringing it. And actually, it's funny because I was thinking about this particular story about 3 or 4 days ago because I was thinking about we've had a couple of my friends who served in Afghanistan on the thin line, and it's pretty interesting, and I've
Mhm.
talked to people that have served over there, um, and they definitely heard about it. They knew about it, so
Yep.
uh, it wasn't a secret to anybody over there.
Right.
So,
Just the official
but
narrative says it is.
that
So,
yes,
it's
yes,
basically it's like telling a white lie to your kids is we all know the truth. We all know the
yeah,
truth. But your kids are
yeah,
adults.
right. So it's
Yeah.
kind of fascinating stuff. I hope that we finally get to see the results of all of the studies that they've done because, is this creature led, is this thing connected to the Bigfoot, the sightings
Yeah.
all over the world?
You know,
Whatever you want to call them, Yeti, whatever, is
yeah,
this thing tied to that? Do
right.
these
Or to
creatures jump through portals to transport themselves wherever they need to go? What's happening here? We don't know. We don't
right,
know.
or are they from like the same essentially like race of giants as like the Sitka from like the
Mhm.
Paiute legends that we discussed like
Right.
a few weeks ago?
Yeah.
Um, it's just it's wild. It's
Yeah.
wild.
Fascinating stuff. Thank you, McKenna.
Yeah, of course.
Guys,
Thank you.
we are getting ready to do some readings here. So if you have a question, please start popping them in the chat. Keep it to a specific topic. And Susie and Celeste will be certain to have an answer for you. They can read the cards and do their hoodoo voodoo stuff. And yeah, woo woo. So, and just to let you know, we are not going to do a show next week. I am traveling, so we're going to take a much needed break next week, but we'll be back the week following. And but please go ahead and pop in your questions in the chat. And yeah, that legend, McKenna, while we're waiting for some questions that you talked about, the Nevada legend, is just so
Mhm.
fascinating to me that I have been in those caves, or at least the beginning of the one cave,
Yeah.
because of the rattlesnakes. I never made it past the rattlesnakes. I couldn't get through it. I just couldn't.
Yeah.
I'm like, no,
I
I
know.
just
Yeah, I
can't.
wouldn't want to mess with the rattlesnakes either.
No, my
But
friends call them nope ropes, and I No,
Yeah.
no. But
I
yeah, we used
mean,
to do Nevada is really interesting because it's full of
yeah.
caves, natural formation caves. They're not old mines. They're not
Mhm.
adits into a mine or anything like that. They are actual caves. And man, there's some creepy, creepy stuff. Even on the drive up to them, you get just the
Ooh, the
feeling that this
heebie-jeebies.
isn't right. Yeah.
Yeah.
David would like a reading from Celeste.
All right.
Danger Noodles. Mad Max. So David,
Yeah.
is there a particular topic?
While we're waiting on
So,
that, I would
yeah.
totally love to like go on a tour through NORAD. They don't do public tours anymore, but if you have a family member that works there, you can totally get a tour. So someone hit me up. I'll be your
Tour where?
cousin. NORAD,
Oh, yeah.
the cave, the big cave.
Uh, um, Sherry, while you're coming up with something for David, since I don't know exactly what he wants, Celeste, Sherry did have this message for you guys. Oh, David said just anything.
Thank you so
I
much.
feel like if it hasn't already happened, it's going to be happening. Of getting some either new abilities or new depth to your abilities. I feel like you've been putting a lot of effort and energy into the meditations and into trying to embrace things. And I don't know if you are feeling like, is something going to change? Is something going to shift? Is it going to get easier? Is it going to get better? If it hasn't, if you haven't already had sort of an aha moment, there is one definitely coming for you.
Hmm.
It's just, they call it elevating. And it's not usually a happy, fun trip. It's not a small world at Disneyland. It's more like, I don't know, the Matterhorn or one of those other,
Toad's Wild Ride.
you're going along, everything's fine, and all of a sudden, there's no
Hmm.
gravity. So,
As
but
like this year has been for everybody. Yeah.
I know. I just keep going. I did not sign up for this. And the universe is like, "Oh, yes, you did." So, but that's kind of what I'm feeling with David, and I am feeling like it's like I said, either is going to be a new depth to some things that you're already experiencing and participating in, or something new.
That's
But
cool.
it definitely, if it isn't right here, it's on the cusp of it.
Mhm.
Okay, and well, thank you, Celeste. And Susie's going to be working for on Sherry.
Mhm.
And just so you know, Celeste, in case you can't read it, I'll have you take this one here after Susie's.
Okay, and first off, thank you very much, David, for the headache. I could feel you pulling on us. Next, you two are, of course, related. We know this. But you both have something new coming. I pulled two different decks, and you have the Empress here twice. You are in a creative mode right now. You have something new that you're going to be birthing, a new idea, a new direction. You're in charge. You've got the King and Queen of Wands together. So there's something you both are very, very passionate about that's going to be coming in. It's going to have to do with money, and adventure. And for some reason, I am drawn to a goat.
Goat. Too
A
many
goat.
goats tonight.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah, too
goat.
Goats?
many.
Yeah, I
Lots
see
of
a baby
goats.
goat. So I'm like, okay,
Ah,
what's up with the baby goats? So maybe something along that line with the your property and stuff like that. But you'll know it when you see it. It's going to hit you like a ton of bricks, and you guys are going to hit the ground running.
that's awesome. Thank you, Susie.
I have a really good recipe for a Afghani goat stew. So
Oh, well, goat is good.
Goat is
Um,
really good.
it is good. Okay, and so Celeste, you have Ramona.
All right. So, what I'm feeling is it isn't what you're expecting. And I don't know that that means it's going to be bad. But I do feel like there could be a switch or a transition coming. And I don't know if that's him offering a different opportunity or if it is going to be bad with him and another opportunity coming, I do feel there's going to be a bit of a shift. What is coming is not fully expected, but I don't feel like it's going to be a bad thing. I feel like you need to take a nice deep breath and be aware when one door closes, another door opens, whatever that means. But just don't try to second guess what you think's going to happen. Um, I feel like you always try to do the best you can do, but I feel like there may be something that you've kind of been feeling a little bit of a shift or a little bit of a, I don't know, something going on under the table behind the doors that not everybody's being made aware of at this point. But long term does not feel like it's going to be anything negative. Um, Although usually with change of any kind, there is some sort of a closure.
Yeah. That is very hard, huh? Yeah. And okay, Susie, I think you have Liv.
I'm ready for her.
Okay.
So, Liv, yes, this is going to be a new direction for you, a better direction. It's going to allow you more freedom, more independence. You have you'll have some truth and clarity. I know you're kind of stuck in your head about it right now. Like some people are telling you it's a bad idea, it's a bad move. Don't listen to that. Listen to your gut, because you've got your guardians backing you right now, and they're saying, yes, that's the right thing. It's going to make you happy, and it is going to bring in the money. Like it's all coming together. Does that make sense?
That's great, Susie. Thank you. And hi, I think it's Myra. If that's how you say your name. If you would like a reading, if you have a quick question, please put it in the chat and we'll have the ladies give you a reading.
I love that name.
I know it's a
Pretty
beautiful
name.
name.
Oh,
Yes, and it's nice to see new people coming in. It's exciting, so please don't be shy. Love, work, money. Am I going to get a goat this week? Ask the question. Okay, what do we have? Pat. I've been feeling people at work have had bad intentions. What can you tell me about that?
Um, the first thing
Celeste?
that I'm picking up on with that, Patricia, is the world is very chaotic and unstable right now, whether it really is, or we're being led to believe it is, or we're being attempted to believe it's not. It is. There's some instability. And whenever anyone is feeling unsure or feeling, not necessarily negativity, but just kind of unknowing or knowing more than what we really want to know, it can make people agitated and irritable, and misery loves company. And so, when things are like that, you have to be careful. If anyone has a feeling that there could be, say, for example, layoffs or a promotion coming up, most of the people that you work with are not your friends. We work together. We might have lunch or coffee together, but when push comes to shove, we all need to feed ourselves, feed our family, pay our mortgages. And a lot of people will sacrifice a friend, share a rumor, sabotage if they feel like they have a chance to overcome a negative situation. So you probably are feeling something like that. The best advice I can give you is do the best you can do, be the good person that you are. The truth usually comes out, and when somebody has negative intention, the last thing you want to do is add to that, because two negatives do not make a positive. You keep doing what you need to do. You keep being a good person that you are. Be kind to everybody, because what we find lacking in the world, we need to provide that to the world. So just be aware. Most of your coworkers are not your best friend.
Yeah. Always watch your back.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Susie, I think you had Maris.
Yeah.
Mayra.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mayra, if I'm saying it wrong. I don't know how to pronounce it exactly.
Yeah. That's really pretty.
It's beautiful.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm ready for her. So,
Okay.
setting free agency aside on the path you're currently on, because we can't divine too far out because there's so many variables coming, unless it's something like really, really set in stone. It is showing the rest of this year you're going to have some new opportunities presented to you. So keep an eye out for those. It has something to do with the internet. You might even like fall in love with yourself or a new adventure again. And then
Oh,
so I did like two different decks just to make sure. But it's going to be bringing you money. So in the back of your mind there was something you really, really wanted a while back, like you'd been working on it, and then you kind of gave up on it thinking this no longer viable, I can't do this anymore. Well, the universe is saying keep going with that. That is like your destiny, the correct path, and it will make you happy. And it has to do with you being the boss of whatever it is that you were trying to create.
that's awesome. What a good reading. I like that.
Yeah, the energy's starting to like settle down, which is nice.
Yeah. I've been
Thank
feeling
Unnecessary
you.
that
barometric
too.
pressure has been pissing people off. Yeah,
I've
sorry.
been
Yeah.
I've been feeling like even though I have a lot of stress going on the farm, like a lot of stuff and sick animals and stuff like that I'm dealing with, but I've been feeling like things are starting to settle.
Hmm.
The roller coaster starting to slow down a little bit. So we may
Mm.
be able to get off this ride soon and get back to,
We
you
are
know.
in the Taurus month, right, Celeste? So we're very grounded. We're going to bring that energy down and say, okay,
Mhm.
calm down. Sorry, I got a plug for my birthday month.
Yeah. And for everybody, wish Susie a happy birthday. It is tomorrow. Yes,
Yay.
we have a birthday girl
Yay!
in the house. So, um, many thanks to Susie for her contributions to the show. And don't forget to share. I keep putting their links up here for their phone numbers, how you can get a hold of both of them. Please contact these ladies for a full reading. Um, they're just giving you tiny snippets here on the show, but I've had a full reading and it's pretty amazing. So it really does help get some guidance sometimes. Sometimes we're stuck. We know the answers, but it's oh, really? Mad Max oh, you were just telling Mad Max. Yeah, happy birthday, Susie. Um so sometimes we're stuck and we may know the answer, but these ladies will help guide you to you revealing that to yourself. Oh, you did get a birthday. Yeah, so hold that up closer, Susie. Hold on.
Yeah.
So everybody can see it. I think it
Yeah.
is so cute.
That's from Jason. Isn't that cute?
Yes, that's very cute.
I love it. That's so great.
Uh Ramona says definitely stuck. Yeah. Oh, and two of Liv's co-workers' birthdays tomorrow as well. So that's wild. Yeah, popular month, right? So
Yeah.
what 9 months ago was winter, right? Yeah. So, um, yeah. Anyway, I'm glad I feel anyway that things are starting to, and maybe it's because I'm always so much more optimistic when the temperatures start getting warmer.
Mhm.
Mm.
For me, that has a lot to do with how I feel emotionally and spiritually because I'm
Yeah.
so outside all the time. So I know, Jason, right? Yes, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I'm feeling. I don't know, but I'll take it. My mood is definitely better now that the sun is out and we're at 80 degrees.
Yes.
Mhm.
Got my first
Yes.
sunburn of the year today. It was great.
Woohoo! I know. Doesn't it feel good? Like, oh,
Feels
yeah.
so good.
So,
Good pain.
but yeah, yeah. But okay, guys, we have 15 minutes to go, so go ahead and ask those questions. And let's see, Jason wants a beach and blue water. Yeah, yeah.
Heck yeah.
So let's see. Um, and just to remind you guys again, if you've just tuned into the show, and I will make a post, but next week, no show. Um, but we will be back the following week. And I hear you, Mad Max. He says, "Dear Winter, I am breaking up with you. Summer's hotter."
Oh snap!
That's
He
very
just
cute.
Dear John'd winter.
I know, right? Yes, go ahead and ask those questions, guys. So we have a good time on the show, and we want you guys to go ahead and keep sharing this because it helps. The whole reason behind this show was I wanted to help Susie and Celeste grow their businesses, definitely because they're so incredible at what they do. And Mud Lover would like a general or whatever reaches out to you, ladies. And then we have Caitlin. So who wants Mud Lover?
I was going to say I just started reading Caitlin. Do you want to
Okay,
do?
so
I'll
Susie
take
can
Mud
do Mud
Lover.
Lover.
Hmm.
Okay.
If you want to go ahead and tell Caitlin, and then I'll work on Mud Lover.
Okay. Everything happens for a reason. And so if you are feeling like you're saying exhausted, then you're not getting back from whatever it is, whether it's a job or a relationship or anything in your life. If you're not getting any kind of fulfillment or reward, and sometimes we can still be making good money, but we go home and we're just like, dang, that just drained me. That's usually an indicator that something needs to change. And it doesn't necessarily, here's my kitty, it doesn't necessarily mean that you should quit. I am not a big fan of quitting jobs, but I am a big fan of looking for a better job to start. And so, while with the world the way that it is, again, I'm highly not recommending just my cat's tail, highly
Mhm.
not recommending you to just quit your job. But I would start expanding options that you're looking at. Maybe there is something that you hear through the rumor mill of a different position where you're with the company that you're with, or you hear of an opening in something that you kind of always wondered what it would be like to do that. That would be a safer way to go. I am not a very untrusting person, but this world is it's not running the way it should. It's a little bumpier, more turbulent. And so I wouldn't give up anything until you have something to replace it. But I say go for it. It never hurts anybody to look for something new, improved, more fun, more appreciative of whatever it is that um, you want to explore, or your abilities that you're good at to take a new avenue with. So that's my advice.
Thank you, Celeste. Yeah,
Okay.
it's hard to yeah. Okay,
Go
and
ahead.
Susie has Mad Max.
Oh, I Mud Lover.
Mud Lover, sorry. Mud Lover.
Okay, so what's coming across right now, Mud Lover, is I'm feeling that you're feeling kind of restless right now, a little bit of out of sorts, having some trouble sleeping. Um, the universe is saying right now, it's like your subconscious is trying to create something new, like trying to manifest something for you. You're just not sure exactly what it is yet. But it's also telling you that now is a good time for you to start exploring new hobbies, new activities, and see what it is that sparks your interest and pulls you in and makes you fall all in love with life again, if that makes sense. And then also it says get out in nature. You need to start going for some walks because I've got a lot of people with their back turned to me here walking. So it's
Hmm.
definitely says get out and start walking in nature. A lot of trees, green things are very healing. That'll help you sleep better at night.
Yeah. What was it last weekend? I think for the first time I had my windows open when I went to sleep at night. It got cold again the next day, but boy, was that incredible. I slept so good that
Mhm.
night. Okay, I'm not seeing any more questions out there right yet. And yeah, so like I said earlier, if you joined late, Mud Lover and Mad Max are part of our podcasting family, and we are doing some shows on this channel. So take a look at a lot of our content that we have up there. We don't just do the lives, there's a lot of other content. And David is also part of our podcasting family on and off now. So he's been on a few of our shows and he will be a co host with Jess since I'm gone next Monday on The Thin Line.
Mhm.
So please tune in to that show. And yeah, so we have a lot of content coming out and and then we have uploaded and I'm still uploading. I only have like 209 more videos to go. Uh, videos from our last paranormal investigation. And yeah, oh, McKenna, this is for you. And so please watch those videos. And what the cool thing is about the videos, not so cool for me who has to tag all of the videos and get them uploaded because there's like 300 and something videos for each camera, but they're 2 to 3 minute segments. That's how it records. These cameras record. So it's really easy if you have 5 minutes to review a couple of segments. And we have people who are finding um, some activity and they're commenting on it. So it's under right now. The investigation we've uploaded is the Delita skating rink. In a
Yeah.
couple of weeks, we're headed over to the Cowboy Lounge in Bruno, and we'll be there all day and part of the evening for that investigation. So we're excited about that. We'll upload all of that content as well. Does anybody have any more questions?
Yeah, and DJ, the podcast is every Wednesday at 7. Usually the first half's our paranormal discussion. Second half is our awesome medium readings.
Yes. McKenna does an amazing job bringing paranormal content to our channel, and it's always interesting because we don't know what she's going to bring. So, okay, Ramona has a question about her daughter. Celeste or Susie?
You want to take that one, Celeste?
Is she teen or preteen by any chance?
Yeah. Yeah, Ramona, go ahead and let us know. You don't have to give us her specific age, but
Right. Just
I love it when Celeste says something and Susie nods right away.
yeah,
She's like,
because
"Yep."
they're always on the same page. These two are always in tune with each other. She said
16. All
16.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was getting teens, but not terribly old. That is a rough time. I don't know if this is new, but that is a big shifts in hormones, shifts in I want to be a grown up. I want to be a kid. I want to have all of the options of a grown up and do what I want with no responsibilities like being a kid, trying to figure out and decide what I'm going to be when I'm going to grow up, when most of us grown ups don't really know what we want to be yet either. So, it's not an uncommon thing, but I do feel like there is some deeper things going on. I don't know if she's really open and talking to you. But that is something that you may want to it's a rough one. I feel like talking as a friend more so than as a parent and
Mhm.
asking if there's some underlying, I don't know, depression, anxiety, pressure, peer pressure, just feeling super overwhelmed with life.
No,
And so, I mean,
she's
this
saying
is the
no.
age. No.
Um, mm,
Can you be more specific what you're saying?
yeah, Ramona, we may need a little bit more.
Because I feel like there's something also going on inside besides anything external. Are you getting anything on it, Susie?
Yeah, I was kind of just dipping in just to help verify with you. I get overall, yeah, she's going to be okay. Right now, she's kind of pulling back. That's what I was just about to say. She's pulling back from mom because she's more into her friends right now. But I also can see her friends are being kind of toxic little dweeb hats. Sorry. And so they're kind of pulling, like basically saying, yeah, your mom's full of crap. And, you know how that age where the friends have more sway than the family does. That's kind of what she's going through right now. But some of those little buddies are not good. Does that make
Yeah,
sense? They're pretty toxic.
that could be where I was getting this. She needs you to be her friend a little bit more so than her
Well,
mom.
she
But
just had a boy, and I don't do this. I don't
go
read
ahead.
people that are
Do
the
it.
living, but I'm seeing somebody who's significantly older than her who's doing some manipulation. And I don't
Check
know.
her internet. Check her internet usage. See who she's talking to online. Because we've
Yeah,
got this that just barely came up, the Emperor.
what it,
So that's an older adult male.
yeah, I'm
Mhm.
not talking totally in it. Well, he is more of an adult though. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
would, he's old enough that he should not be interested in her.
Mhm.
And this is a little bit, it's a gray area to talk about on YouTube and all these live shows, but that's what it
Mhm.
came right to me when when you guys started talking. I'm like, oh, this isn't good.
Yeah, you've
So
always got to monitor everything your kids do. I mean, every platform they're on, every app. I mean, dig in those settings of their phones. Just make sure you know what's going on. There's too many
And
weirdos.
this person may not be letting her know all the truth. Um,
right.
they could be faking their age or what they look like or where they live or what they're doing. It's a scary world. But yeah,
I think
there's
she's
some,
met him though.
Mhm.
you think? I don't know.
Uh-huh.
I
But I
think
feel like
that,
it's not just external stuff. There's some internal stuff.
yeah.
And she
Mm,
and by what I mean by being a friend, I don't mean be her buddy, but relating to her maybe as like when I was 16, this is what I felt about things, or this is,
Mhm.
you know,
mm-hmm.
and the boyfriend is different than the boy.
Yeah, oh,
Mhm.
she has a boyfriend and he's a jerk.
But is
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
it,
I don't,
the
it feels like the girls are somehow like backing him up on whatever he's doing, like the
mm,
girl friends, the friends that are girls, and it's just I don't know.
well, but yeah, I would start digging into that one, Ramona, and being very careful. But it's
Mhm.
hard, man, because at 16 you can alienate, you know what I mean? She could,
yeah.
it's so
Mhm.
hard because they're kind of an adult but not really an adult, and it's
Mhm.
so hard. But yeah, you're
Yeah,
still
that's the
mom.
whole. I remember being told by somebody that I brought into this world how they couldn't wait till they could be a grown up and wouldn't have rules all the time. And I was like, yeah, good luck with that. And
Yeah,
now this person shares with his little people, don't
yeah,
enjoy being your age because there's way more
yeah,
rules for grown-ups, and that's I'm kind of feeling like
yeah.
it's a
Well,
it's there's a lot to it.
don't people please reach out. Both Susie and Celeste are available for full readings. Please reach out to these ladies and schedule a full reading from them because you're going to get so much more than anything that you're going to get on the show. This is just a snippet so you can see how this works and get comfortable with the process and understand them. Um, so please reach out to them. And yeah, so we're pretty much out of time for this evening, but it was wonderful to have you all on the show. We appreciate you so much. Susie, Celeste, McKenna, as always, it's been wonderful. Don't forget, we will not be live next week. We're taking next week off. We will see you the following week. So you all stay safe out there. Get out and enjoy some sunshine if you have some in your area.
Yep.
Much love. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.